What's going on? This is Boy IV coming to you out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a beat maker, producer / engineer. Been doing this since I was about 15. Here we are almost 10 years later. Still got a passion for this. Got a lot of musicianship under my belt. Play keys, play guitar, play drums, pretty much a little bit of everything. Grew up playing throughout the school. I took music theory and had drums and show choir, symphony. I kind of just like the idea of picking up instruments and toying with them. Never was necessarily a singer, so that was always my way of connecting, always my voice, always where I had my power at. Mostly just having musicianship, being able to play in a band setting, being able to interact with different people who like the idea of instrumentation. And then from there I kind of got into beat making. I just found a passion in that, just making beats and cooking up all the time in my room and everything. Follow suit with producing, and now where I'm at now is I'm kind of fine-tuning my engineering skills, kind of tapping into that market, trying to definitely, that's like my newfound love at this point when it comes to this. DAWs I love. I grew up really liking workstations at first, just the idea of workstation, floppy disk, that type thing. Then I kind of got into DAWs later. I started with Reasons. That was my first anything that was gonna be anything. Then from there, I liked the Reason just for the rewiring and being able to do sound design and stuff like that. It had, if you liked live gear, stuff like that, it was kind of like an easy way to get into the DAW world, kind of, sort of. Then from there, it's like I tackled into Logic just for like mass control, being able to understand like a whole DAW from top to bottom, functionality, things like that. It was so user friendly. Now it's like I got a passion for Ableton just for being able to manipulate audio and things like that, and being able to really fine tune like my soundscapes and stuff. So when it comes to the DAW, that's like the main three I really kind of dibble and dab with a little bit. Fruity Loops, never got into it. Love the sequencing, starting to use it. Heard about it. There's a lot of young producers, a lot of well-named producers in the game that love Fruity Loops. I picked up some tools with that. Pro Tools, it was always a little tedious for me, but I'm still working on trying to really find some passion in that one. I think it'll come more so on the engineering aspect. But that covers like all the DAWs I kind of go back and forth with. Musicianship wise, I always gonna have a passion for playing the guitar. It's just something about the acoustic or electric melodies, blues, rhythm and blues, R&B. That was kind of always my passion when it came to playing guitar. That was always my approach. Very Latin influenced as well, though. I liked it, just Latin chords. I got it really big on with major 7th, minor 7th chords, most so minor 7th chords. Playing rhythm blues and lots of R&B runs and things like that. I kind of got into rhythm, more so than a lead player. I've always had a passion for rhythm. It was always my way of connecting when it came to a band setting, or just my idea of bringing my piece of flavor to the table. Just out of that, I was able to pick up keys pretty naturally, finding that same passion. And it kind of ventured into major, because a lot of my R&B and stuff like that I put together, my compositions kind of fall within major blues, and that's kind of hard for some people that grew up in a church environment, because they'll hear something and they'll automatically go to like a B flat or a minor feel, black keys. So when they hear the majors and R&B rhythms I make, they're like, oh, wait a minute, this is all white keys. So that was kind of something I always thought was a little different. Even with like drum sequencing, I really like percussion. Really got into timers and floor toms and shakers and wood blocks. Every kind of just tropical vibes is kind of what I got out of it, rather than more so 808s and whatnot. I kept that in place just for the vibration and the familiar sound, but I let all the rest of my drums kind of take you somewhere a little bit more tropical. That pretty much covers everything about that. Now let me dive into some of the guitar stuff for you. So a lot of times, even like in in my search through kits or just a lot of times trying to research rhythm, blues, and R&B and everything like that, and just jazzy structures or more flavorful structures of chords. I always find myself coming back to like a seventh, like a minor seventh, if you may. And I notice there's a lot of people that's like missing that information. Like when I see a lot of tutorials, they mostly go over majors and minors, but they don't really cover those rich chords that you want to know in order to get your piece of R&B or whatever it is you're working on, just to sound more just full of life, you know. So like you could take something like this little chord idea right here, right? Honestly, a lot of that is just minor sevenths. You know, I mean, you got your basic major chord, right? And you got your minor, right? But nobody's really showing you that minor seventh. That's that rich chord that you be needing it. You can just work your way up the scale. Nobody show you that half of the time. So I think that's one thing I want to go over. It's just that chord progression, how you can make it go up and down any particular scale of any type of key. Like I said, you could take this chord idea right here, right? And that's just a bar chord, right? Take your middle finger, come down 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, right here on the G. And then you take your ring finger, you move it up one string onto the next fret, right? And you can hammer that part on right here onto your D string. That's one idea of it. Or you could take that same idea and move these both down. 1. Boom, there you go. There's your minor seventh. Well, actually, you just move this one down 1. Move it down 1. And there go your minor seventh. You could do semitones. Or you can just jump straight to the next. And then from there, your next one is going to go back to that idea I was just telling you about. And then you can work your way back down. Semitone. And you can go back to that idea again. Just to finish out. That way you cover all ends of everything from the drive to actual finish. But that's pretty much an easy way, a real easy, it's kind of like a cheat. You know, it's an easy way to make something a little bit more flavorful. You know, just take that minor seventh. That's pretty much everything. A little bit of backstory behind me, just a brief description of where I'm coming from and presenting myself to you today. If you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on all social platforms at The Boy IV. That's THABOY, I as in India, V as in Victor. That's pretty much any type of platform. Also keep up with me on the Trap Monsters team. I'm a part of that team. We're going to be bringing a lot of things to you, live instrumentation wise, just kind of just incorporating the idea of anybody out here wants to learn something, we got a little bit of something for you on all ends of the board. So keep up with me there. If you got any questions, any concerns, anything that you feel like you want to learn or be a part of this brand, you can email me at bookboyiv@gmail, or just hit me straight on the contact of any one of my social networks or through Trap Monsters. That's pretty much where you'll get in contact with me or the brand, how we work together on bringing you all the information that you might need as far as musicianship, even theory, if you want to tap into, key playing and music theory and things, about interval chords and things like that you might have to, you don't necessarily got a strong suit in, whether you're an intermediate player, beginner, or advanced. We got something for all of you. So stay tuned.